Hey everybody, Merry Christmas. Under this Christmas tree, you're not going to find my Christmas gift because it's being shipped to me. Because recently I was fitted for a new lab putter. I got a DF3 putter coming. Big thanks to Phil Walker for fitting me at Back Nine Golf in Bentonville. This video goes through the whole fitting, so if you're interested in a lab putter and you want to know what a fitting's like, check out this video. Phil does a great job. If you're in the Bentonville, Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas area, check him out. He's fantastic. It's actually for friends of mine that are in Oklahoma. Easy drive over, 2 hours from Tulsa. And I hope you enjoy this video. And I'll tell you, I can't say enough good things about lab putters. I've been borrowing a friend of mine's for the last 6 weeks. I'm making more 6 to 8 foot putts than I've ever made in my entire life. So I can't say enough good things about lab putters. Can't wait to have mine. Hope you enjoy the video. Fitted for a putter.
You want, okay, let's go do it.
So I brought all 3 putters I've been using this year. So
Okay.
I've never been fitted for a putter.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. But you already have a lab putter.
No, that's not mine. I'm
Oh.
borrowing it from a friend. He was putting great with it, and then he was struggling with his speed control, so he went back to his Scotty, and he said, "Why don't you borrow it?" And I've had some amazing rounds with it. That's the Mez, yeah, the Mez one, I think.
I don't know why okay, once again, this is just my opinion. I don't know why anyone would use something that talks, like has torque to it now.
Right.
But let's go take a look.
So my golf clubs got stolen when I moved to Tulsa 2021, and I had to
Okay.
replace everything. And I bought this putter, and it's putting okay. One day I went to Tulsa Country Club to play and realized I'd left it on my putting mat.
Okay.
So I borrowed a putter from the pro shop and went out and I borrowed this one, and I had 26 putts and shot. I hit the ball terrible and shot 72, and I'm like, I'm keeping that putter, So I bought it, used it for, and then I bounced back and forth between that and this. Putting was just it's not terrible, but it's never been great. Started using that lab putter, and I've made more 6 to 10 foot putts with that putter. And when I get confident with it and I know the line, like, putts are going in.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. So this is very basic. So this reminds me of like the old ping zing,
Right?
Like Curtis Strange used, or even like I said, Greg Norman, like the Answer 2. But this has a ton of toe hang. So face balance. So this has almost as much toe hang as you can get. There are some blade like putters that might go a little bit more, but this is essentially a blade.
Okay.
So this is a rotating face that requires an arc that rotates like that to be effective. Now, you can putt however you want. Curtis Strange used to putt like that with it, but I don't think at the time they really realized what the technology was.
Sure.
Okay, so this is designed to be more of a closing toe, like think of Crenshaw, who uses a blade. They tend to putt more like that.
Okay.
So this closes. This putter I actually really like. So not quite face balanced. It's got a little bit of toe hang, which does allow you to have this release just a little bit. Okay, so I actually like this. The 2-ball was very popular. But this will come in a different neck as well. So this neck, there's another neck here that this will be completely face balanced.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so I think I have one. Just bear with me. So it's the neck type. Here we go. That where they can move the weight around. So you can see here the neck on this, because this has a hosel, right?
Right.
That is completely face balanced.
Okay.
All right. So this will not release as easily,
Okay.
whereas this will release very easily. It will want to twist down. So that's just the difference between different putters and the neck. The Answer style is probably the most common. Everyone, let me get an Answer style putter for you. Like this thing. Just an Answer style putter.
Oh yeah, right.
Like answers like ping answer. Scotty Cameron, most Scotty Camerons are like
Right.
this, the Newport 2.5, but this is just the common neck.
A putter that got stolen was it was a studio stainless Cameron.
So very, like the most common of the putters that you'll have out there. So now I'm just going to do a demonstration on this for you guys.
Okay.
This putter here is probably has the highest MOI out of this for the PXG line.
Okay.
It's not quite face balanced, but it's based off the Tank 7 by Odyssey.
Okay.
Probably their most, besides the 2-ball, their best putter. So you're looking at something that's very high MOI, but when you put it in this revealer, despite all the weight being centered around, like on the outside, it's going to twist. All putters will twist, whether they're face balanced, non-face balanced, because there's torque.
Right.
Okay, so we take this, so I'll just use mine. I have an arm lock as well, which
Okay.
I'm experimenting. It's my infatuation with Bryson. I did get the exact specs as his, and I'm like, I can't use it.
Yeah.
It's like this. So now here we have a putter where there is no torque whatsoever, and you can see that the face does not rotate. Now to me, much like the Avoda golf stuff, and PXG make a putter like this as well.
Okay.
I will say that. Axis 1, make it 1. So there's a few people getting on board now. This makes the most sense in the world to me, because now I don't have to worry about my face closing or not closing. So I think it just makes golf easier.
And I'm all for like.
Well, I'm
Why not
for
make golf
enjoyment,
easier?
right?
Yeah, right.
So I'm all for the point of enjoyment.
Same reason I'm not going to play blades and I want to go get the Avoda irons. You know, the same thing I can do to make it easier.
So yeah, obviously there are certain things when you say blades, like you give up certain elements with blades, with the forging process, and when you hit it really pure, it feels better than say a cast game improvement club.
Right.
You're just going to get any feel, but with this, I don't think you give up any feel.
Hey, there's nothing better than making a putt. That feels better than anything.
So there are different head designs. This is the Link. It's been quite popular on tour as well. It's the most aesthetic pleasing one. But the most popular head as of right now, and now they just released the Oz one, which is the Adam Scott one. But this head, the DF3, is what everyone uses, pretty much. It's the original, just in a more compact style.
Okay.
But in order to get fit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure your putting stroke with, which putter do you want to use?
I mean, should I use this? This is one I've been using for the last month and a half.
You can. How about you use one of those, and then we'll fit you, and then you can use that. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. So this predates SamLab, but this little iPod Touch, it's like with $5,000. Like if it ever breaks, I'm toast. Okay. So basically, this is going to give us all the information about your stroke and stroke type.
All right.
So it goes on like this. You can't find these anymore. So this is like a relic. We do have TomTom and like the mini SamLab, but this is so easy that I just use this still. So I spent like $10,000 on all this other stuff.
Oh, and you still go back to that.
Well, it's better.
Yeah.
What golf would you use?
I played either the Pro V1 or the AVX.
All right. Let's just go with that. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit 5 putts. It's a left edge putt at this hole.
All right.
Okay. And I'm going to measure your stroke. From about 10 feet. I'm just going to roll it back to you. I want to use the same ball so we get as precise as possible. Now all this is doing is picking up what your stroke. You don't have to make it. It's not making it is not what is going on here. It's measuring your stroke, right? Now while you're doing this, what do you struggle with putting wise?
Number one thing is speed control on lag putts.
Okay.
Number two is misreading putts.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with the putter. Number three would be having my stroke break down on short putts.
Okay. So do you claw it even outside of like 15?
I've been clawing it everywhere. So what happened was, geez, I think it's been 15 years now. I was playing in a member guest, and this is back when I was a really good ball striker. And I mean, I'm just hitting the ball so well. And I missed a 3-foot birdie putt to win the match on the 7th hole. It was like these 9-hole matches. Mm-hmm. And then I missed a 3-foot par putt on 9 to win the match. We ended up tying the match. We ended up coming in second place and out of the money. And I went right into that pro shop and used the credit that I did earn to have them put a jumbo grip on my putter, and I switched to the claw right then and there, and I haven't looked back. And I don't yip anymore. Those were yips that I had that day. But I don't yip with the claw.
Okay, so this is going to give you a score. It's like out of 0 to 24.
Okay.
Right? So you want 0. It's kind of like a strokes gain thing. So your stroke type is actually very, very good. I mean, you got a consistency score of 0.3. So the stroke itself, even with that one, you're looking at gaining 0.3 of a stroke per round, according to the consistency of your stroke.
Okay.
So you have a very slight arc. You know, if you use the answer style putter, it would probably be a little bit more arc type. Very slight arc. And this is the impressive part, okay? So your club face angle was 0.2 closed, 0.3 open, 0.2 closed, 0.4 closed, but then you had one that was 1.1 open, like just an outlier. Yeah. It was the second putt for no reason whatsoever.
Okay.
So that would be interesting to find out why that is. Maybe hit it more in the heel. But for the most part, I would say that that's a pretty good rating.
Okay.
Okay. I have seen people in the +4, +5 range, but we're looking at what stroke type and face angle.
All right.
So for a very slight arc, you would want to be closer to 0.
Okay.
Okay, because there's not much arc there.
Right.
Now, someone with a very strong arc would have a very closing putter stroke.
Okay.
Okay, so if you hit, just for the purpose of this video, so go ahead and hit that answer style one, right?
Okay.
We'll do the same thing. I'm just going to see. I've got to put the thing on.
Sorry.
I think you're probably going to struggle a little bit more with this one. Okay. So your stroke would not match this putter. Now, if you put Ben Crenshaw into a mallet face balance, he'd probably struggle as well because of the way he learned to putt. But I would say blade-like putters are quite difficult to use now. But I had a
Scott Scheffler's become unstoppable since he switched to the Spider.
Well, I used to putt with a Ping Zing too. And I loved it.
Right.
It was so light.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah, you see your score went up to 5.
Oh, wow.
Because of that putter.
Wow.
Now, once again, that is based off stroke type versus the putter. So your stroke type stayed the same, 3 degrees.
Okay.
Okay? But that requires more of an arc.
Sure.
Okay, so your consistency went up 5 strokes, like negative.
Okay.
Okay? And now your putter face is 0.2 closed, 1.1 open, 0.6 open, 1.4 closed, and then 0. It's just all over the place.
Right.
Because it requires this more of an arc.
Sure.
So it should be closing. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to fit you for lab golf. It's a pretty simple fitting. It's more about comfort.
Okay.
Okay. This is the fitting putter. It's the original one. Okay. So this is, I think it's like the DF1, Directed Force 1, the original putter.
Okay.
It's the one I still use. It it is kind of look like a branding iron though.
I don't care what it looks. I think this one, the Mez is ugly too. But you know what?
I think the Mez is ugly. Me personally,
but
I think the DF3 is kind of good looking.
I don't really care how ugly it is if putts go in the hole.
My elite kids, I put them in this. They're called the grinders, the golf grinders, like the ones that all went on make it like D1 or on tour. They all part of the grinders. I tell them, like, you got to grind.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to want this.
Yeah.
And just that refusal to make a bogey. So I'm gonna have to have a word with him.
I'm gonna have to have a word with myself about refusal to make double bogey.
Okay, so yeah, well,
let's start there.
Just that mindset of like the next shot is could be the best shot I've ever hit.
Yeah.
Like, just I'm so focused on.
I just picked up the book Mastering Golf's Mental Game, I think it's called.
I don't think I've read that one.
Something along this. It's who's the guy that Decade talks about all the time? The doctor, the scorer, not Rotella, but the other guy that the Decade Golf guy. He's always saying you need to have the mental score.
Stagner?
No, not Stagner. He's a psychologist, but it's a great book, and I've glanced through it. I'm going to go back and read it and take notes and apply it.
I think I would say I don't know. Not being the best at everything. Like I had to earn.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to earn my scholarship. Like I just had this. I don't know. It's something I just refused to lose. I lost a bunch, but
right. That mindset you have to have, sure.
Like I just didn't want to shoot. If I shot 77, that was the best 77 I could have shot that day.
That's good.
So this you can see is telescoping shaft, moves up and down. Once you feel comfortable, I'm just going to tighten everything up. Okay. So basically, what I would like for you is to get here. Tell me what lie angle, and then I'll just tighten this all up for you. Now, I do double check your eye line in a little bit, but you can do whatever you want right now. That they say that your setup, stroke type, and everything are irrelevant to having success because their putters are so good.
Wow.
Tell me when you feel like you
feel comfortable.
You feel comfortable. Okay. So I'm just going to tighten this. All right, so I want you to couple of putts with that. Remember, it's left edge. And then I'm going to get all right, so once you get into that setup again, I'm going to measure your lie angle now. Okay, so right now we have it at 34 inches.
Okay.
Now, I don't know what your putter was before.
I think that Odyssey's 34.
Okay, 34 and at 70 degrees. Jesus, you couldn't be any more stock.
Okay.
I mean, so every putter that's just made for the shelf, right, is 70 degrees, I would say.
Okay. Maybe
71. Okay. So at 34 inches and 70, it's basically you could go pick this up at Golf Galaxy.
Okay.
All right. But now, there's other things you want to pick your grip type, your shaft, but they have a stock and a custom. The stocks are all 34, 35 inches and 69 degrees.
Okay.
So 70 is 1 degree, but I was being facetious there in a way, but so what I do is I always do it twice, right? Okay. And then I see where your eye line is. So we undo this, but that is basically the fitting. Okay. Okay. All right. Now I go a little bit beyond because I have people drive from Kansas City and I'm like, okay, you're fit. I'm like, I just don't feel like there's a lot of value in that, right? So I do go a little above and beyond. Okay. So now, are you doing something different or are you trying to get in the same thing?
I'm trying to get in. I feel pretty similar here.
Okay, so here's what's interesting. You went up a half inch.
Did I really?
Okay, so now, this is why I always do it twice, maybe even 3 times, right? So you went up a half inch there. Now I will say, generally, everyone that comes and gets fit goes longer than what they normally do. And now this is at 69 degrees.
Okay.
So you are now at almost 35 and 69. But people, the longer is like it tends, I know it's weird because, you know, the shorter you feel like you can swing it. A lot of people feel more comfortable in that position.
Okay.
But it is subjective. Obviously, like you have to be the one. Now, in terms of where your eye position is, because I do think eye position is important. Anywhere between this and this, I would consider to be
fine.
a good position. You don't want them too far inside.
Right.
And definitely, this is where I struggle. I get my eyes out here. Okay. So I like on this red line, just slightly inside there.
I've actually 0 times in my life have I ever had, but I'm short too. I think that's probably why.
So where are your eyes?
Right over top of the putter line.
So now your first attempt was 34 and a half, then you went to 35, and then your lie angle changed.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is a pretty, you know, you want to get this correct.
Right.
So I'm going to do it one more time.
Okay.
I do like the slightly longer putter though.
Really?
Because it gets your elbows a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, but that's just my opinion. A lot of people who let their arms hang tend to be more sort of on that bigger arcing stroke.
I like this.
Okay. So once again, 34 and a half. So you went up half a degree. So I think that's important that you feel that, or half an inch, sorry. Now, we can hit you can hit all these other raggedy walls. It doesn't make any difference. Just be careful not to move it because it's, you know, you don't like press down on it. Remember, it's left edge. Now, as far as the rest of the fitting is concerned, you know, they have different head colors. It's that's like you can do whatever you want. Like I said, there's reds, there's blues, there's all kinds of different head colors. There's different shaft options as well, but it's really the comfort of the setup that's the most important. Then the next part of the fitting would be the grip options. So these are the 4 grips that are offered. This one, is the press 1.5, is textured. Okay. Then there's this one, which everyone picks, which is 3.0 textured because it's bigger.
Okay.
Then there's the Gossan, which actually a lot of people seem to like the Gossan grip. I mean, and then there's the original non-textured 1.5, which
I like the big one.
everyone picks this.
Yeah.
The 3.5, right?
Right.
The fitting itself is getting the lie angle, most important, the lie angle and the length.
Okay.
Head design, they all do the same thing. It just depends on which one appeals to you. The 2 options, the link I would not recommend, although it has done well on the PGA Tour, just because it does the same thing. It's just got it's not as heavy.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to colors and stuff like that.
Well, I know that the technology is still there. Psychologically, it doesn't look like it's good. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like it's giving me the advantage.
Okay, so I'm like, if I'm buying this for the no torque technology, this feels like I'm in a speedboat, and this is like I'm in a cruise ship or something. Like this feels so stable. Like this feels like it goes all over the place.
Yeah.
But like I like to show people the different options. As far as the shaft, there is a couple of shafts that are like $3.99 upgrade. I've hit them. I really can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
But then again, if you want one, that's fine. But I normally just go with this black steel.
What is this? Is this like a arm lock?
This is the arm lock, yes, which is essentially Bryson's specs, 100%.
Wow.
And it's too upright for me, and I'm 6 foot.
I mean, he's just
Four.
it's so.
I felt so
Interesting.
awkward because I just feel so rigid. But that's essentially how he sets up, right?
Yeah, I can't. He does that. It just he
he's
putts
like,
so well. I just can't figure it
so
out.
like I'm like this, and I'm like, I just feel. I like this, so I got to. That feels much better to me. But I wanted to buy Bryson's one, and I just feel like a robot, like that. So anyway,
I want to see that head though.
it's just, huh?
See that head.
The head, I actually think this is the
This what
best
I'm
head.
talking about, that you do.
This is the best head, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, because the DF3 incorporates what the DF1 was, and it's just made it into a smaller size.
Yeah.
So that is my, like the Oz just came out, but the Oz looks like this.
Right.
But I don't like the Miz at all. That's why I don't even carry
Okay.
it.
Well, I'm just curious what you don't like about it.
I just don't. I
Just
think
don't like the look?
It's very boxy.
Yeah. I mean, so when he first bought it, he's like, try it out. And I'm like, that's terrible. And I hated it. And then when I started, I mean, the technology is what is great. I mean, like, I just,
Well, yes.
I don't hit this offline very often.
So, well, here's the thing. It's like, there's technology in all of these. They say equivalent. There also has to be an appeal.
Right.
I would look down at something and be like if I look down at this, I do not feel confident.
Correct.
At all. But then again, back in the 90s, this is the putter I used because I didn't know any better.
Right.
But I was like a kid. I could look down at this. I like this. I would feel confident with this. Okay? It is essentially that, but it has torque. I like this putter a lot. So, but this is that just with some added features that I think, well, clearly it's taking over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if they've lost their patent rights or whatever because now,
Callaway's coming out with one, right?
yeah, they all. I don't know how long do you have.
I have no idea.
For. So now these major competitors are going to come in, but if you're the first and the original, generally you keep market share.
Sure.
Because these other companies are just riding piggyback now.
Yeah.
So, because I know, PXG, you've made
It's
one.
so upright. It's unbelievable to even look at.
I knew once I took it out the box, I was like, I don't have to take. So Matt actually, my associate, he's had back surgery and he loves it.
Oh, really?
So he might just use it because he doesn't want to bend over
That's a good point.
because his spine is fused or whatever.
Right.
So now what I am going to do is, if you want me to measure you with the Mez as well, this thing. So essentially the fitting is 34 and a half, 70 degrees
Okay.
with the 3.0 grip.
Okay.
Okay. You're telling me like what head is what, the DF3?
That I like I like this head.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then at that point, and I there's no value in getting an upgraded shaft at all.
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So the black steel is what I tell everyone to get.
Okay.
Okay. Then it's all down to how many lines you want and head color.
Okay.
So we can go look at those here in
Yeah,
a second. Your general putting stroke is very good.
Oh, good.
Now, green reading, that's
Speed
a-
control.
but that's tempo.
Yeah.
That's whether you are, someone who likes to hit the putt. I tend to be a much longer sort of matching pendulum stroke. So I have a metronome number where it would always be sort of 1, 2. Because I remember taking lessons back when I was still playing. He used to make me say 1 potato 2. I would go like 1 potato 2, 1 potato 2. So I've got to remember this guy's name. He was like, Pioneers cost a ton of money, and it was raining at the Blessings. This is embarrassing. He made me lie on the green.
Oh, really?
First thing he did, I just lay on the green. He was like, "You got to love the green."
Really?
It's like, dude, come on. People are looking at us. We just like laid sprawled out on the green.
Whatever it takes.
And he's like, "You got to feel comfortable. You got to love being on the green." I was like, I get that, but like, do I have to physically lie? Anyway, it was a very good lesson. But all I remember it was like 1 potato 2, 1 potato 2. And so my speed control is really good, like distance wise, like because it's a metronome number.
I've been saying to myself, like over putts, when I'm putting well, I get in a good routine and I literally say out loud. I mean, guys in my group can't necessarily hear, but I'm saying, I do like a clocked tick, tock, tick, tock.
Yeah, but that's the metronome, right?
Yeah,
so you'll find that.
Because I can tell if I take a practice swing, like tempo's jerky, I don't hit the putt until I get one practice swing that has a nice tempo.
Okay.
And that's helped with making putts inside of 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, like getting the speed right.
So, my advice, your putting stroke is very good. There's not a lot of manipulation. Tempo. I am more in the school of pendulum, back and through. So there's not a lot of, at one point it was like, there was a lot of hit to the stroke, and I don't like that.
No.
If anything, I'll almost, it sounds like a decel, but putting on fast greens, there was never any like.
No, I mean, you
So
do that at
just-
Pinehurst, you put it 100 feet down the hill, it'll run out 65 yards from the hole.
So that's why I'm like, really, just this sort of pendulum rocking motion.
I made an 8 on number 13. I hit one of my more solid 3-irons, but it started right and stayed right.
Mm-hmm.
Barely into the fairway bunker. Pulled the 9-iron left. I get the worst lie in a bunker you can imagine. I mean, it's buried this deep in a fried egg. I just hack it out, and somehow I get out of the bunker, which I'm thrilled with. Pins down like middle front, and I'm behind the green. So I just hit a lob wedge like carefully onto the green, and it stays up on top. And I've got about a 25-foot putt. And I mean, I barely touch it, and it goes down. It hits the center of the cup, lips out because I had too much speed. Stopped for a second, then started picking up speed. Rolled down off the front, and a dormant Bermuda there. I was 65 yards for the next shot. And it's just what am I supposed to do? I literally just didn't even take my wedge. I putted it from 65 yards and got it up to like 6 feet and missed the 6-footer and went to the next hole with an 8. So,
I mean,
and hit a 385-yard drive on the next hole because it was downwind, and I was freaking pissed. And so I just pounded a drive down the left side.
I mean, that's what makes golf unique is like each environment is different.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't want to play that all the time because it just gets frustrating.
Wear you out.
Because I think about, Rory kind of choked that one away, but he hit that par 5. Is it 15 par 5 or 14? Which one is the par 5?
16. Let's see. 13's a par 4, 14's a par 4, 15's a par 3, 16 is a par 5. But he doesn't play a par 5 for the U.S.
Okay,
Open.
so wherever it was on the back 9. And he went for it in 2, and he hit 2 perfect shots, and like in the middle of the green.
Right.
And we're like, he's going to go 3 shots up here.
Yeah.
And then it just started moving.
Right.
Like he was that close.
Yeah. It's
I know.
maddening.
There's a certain point where that should have been rewarded. I'm not saying that. I'm like.
My old business partner I was with, he shot even par on the front, and then he shot like 45 on the back. His brother, who played college golf, Division I college golf, shot 43 on the front, and then 36 on the back. Me, I just played bad on both sides and shot 89. So
89, that's a rough number.
It was. Especially after the first 2 days when I won all the money and I lost it all on the third day.
Yeah. So that's tough to shoot an 89. But as far as, do you want to take a quick look at
colors,
at the colors and stuff? These are all your putters.
I'll come back and get those.
If you look, the lie angle and all that's pretty easy. It's do you want to then brighten up your putter? Like, it's up to, this is where it gets kind of, what do you want? Because people order all kinds of stuff. Like, I ordered the green. I think that's pretty cool.
I like blue as my favorite color.
Because of Tulsa?
No.
Oh no,
West Virginia.
West Virginia. So, and then this is very important because there's lots of them. What kind of alignments do you want?
Wow, I don't even. Never really given it any thought.
So this is the one, the stock one. Okay. So it's this really solid front line with a little line. I will say that for a lot of people, they are going to sort of this kind of stuff.
I like that.
That's the one that people pick the most.
To me, you got more lines like going towards the hole. Because
it's the size of the ball. And then I even went a little bit further and put one at the back.
Yeah, I like that.
So bless you. K or L seem to be the most popular, but then, I mean, people do all weird stuff, like they order stuff like this and it looks hideous to me.
Oh yeah, I don't want that. I love the 3 lines.
Okay.
In fact, I wanted to buy that 2-ball putter with the 3 lines, but at Golf Galaxy at the time they didn't have it, so I just picked that one up. But the one with the 3 lines to me on the 2-ball looks better.
Yes. So that's.
I think I like the one on the other side too.
Okay. That's the one I have on my.
Do you putt with the line on the golf ball?
I go in and out. With this configuration, I don't feel like I need to.
Yeah.
I try to just roll it over a spot because the line fixates me too much, and then I get anxious. Yeah. That's just me being,
I'm kind of that way too. That, and I also feel like I feel guys are oftentimes like trying to line up that ball so much that it takes time. It slows play down.
So I've always been a spot liner, what they call. I roll it over a spot because it's more instinctive. It's almost like basketball, or cricket, or like a throw at the wickets. But
okay.
So say I've got a spot here, right? So say there's that. So I will just put my ball down blank, and I have a spot on the ground, and then I'll look at it. All right, and then I just try and roll it over that. So I'm not. Sure. I'm using essentially where I want to roll it, but I'm not like getting down because then I feel like, oh shit, that's not aimed right, and then I'm like, and I feel under pressure, and then I'm like, I'm not certain I'm aiming
right.
So this is more instinctive for me. In fact, I do a lot of when I was still playing. I did a lot of work just looking at the spot, just rolling it like that.
What was the deciding factor for you to stop playing?
I wasn't any good. I mean, you can only bang away for so long.
Yeah, how many years did you go after it though?
6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah, that's a grind.
I was out there for a while.
Right.
So, 125 guys make it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
If I'm not one of them, and there wasn't all these. There was a mini tour. And then the buy.com,
right.
which I think is called Corn Ferry now or whatever.
Right.
So I played on the Australian tour, you don't make any money. Asian tour, don't make any money. Went to South Africa, don't make any money. Mm-hmm. So you're either on a mini tour or you got a card, that's it.
And did you settle here in Bentonville because of school at Arkansas? Or
I went. I got recruited to play golf.
Here.
Yeah. So I had 5 schools. My dad told me that I'm coming here because they gave me the most money.
That's great.
He was like, I didn't really have a choice.
Okay.
I mean, I had, because I didn't know anything about America. So we landed in Ohio. I went to Ohio State, and I was like, I ain't coming here.
Okay.
Like, pitching an Australian kid, hey, it's like March. You're de-icing.
I played college golf in Ohio. It's miserable.
Oh,
you play in the snow. It's the worst.
De-icing the plane. I was like, what's this purple shit they're putting on the wings?
Yeah.
I was like, so that was out. So then Oklahoma, I actually almost went to Oklahoma, but they had a tornado warning. I was like, no, I'm out on that. I really wanted to go to Pepperdine. But my dad said no.
It's awfully beautiful in Malibu.
He was like, I'm not sending you to another country so you can hang out on the beach. So I ended up here. And it's worked out, pretty well. I like Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful area.
It's a great place to raise a family.
Yeah.
And then I had free access to Pinnacle and the Blessings.
That's great. How many kids do you have?
I have 2.
That's great. How old are
they? 10 and 8.
Are they into golf?
Yeah, they're getting into it.
That's great.
2 girls, though.
Okay.
So that's a little harder to persuade.
Oh, yeah.
But that is, if they stick with it, that is the best opportunity to get a scholarship.
Sure.
I think
Sure.
it's very hard to get girls dedicated to golf.
Well, I got a 6-year-old boy. He's not. I mean, he'll go out and hit 1 or 2 balls. Sometimes I'll take him to a lesson with Maggie, and he'll do 10 minutes at the end. But after he hits a couple putts, and he likes to put it right next to the hole so that he knows it's going to go in, and then he likes to go play in the sand. And
well, he's 6, right?
He's 6, yeah.
So my 10-year-old's starting to hit the ball pretty good, and so you get that, like, there's that enticement. She's like, ooh, that felt good.
Right.
So, and I'll do most of it. I'll take them to Topgolf a lot because they think it's fun.
Sure.
But she's getting good. Like, her swing is actually pretty good, and she's strong.
I just keep trying to find little things that are fun around golf.
Yes.
Yesterday we had for our company, we had one of those Dirty Santa gift exchanges, and there was this pen set that's also like a little putting green with different golf clubs. Mm-hmm. And I gave that to my son this morning. I said, hey, I got you a little something. He didn't want to go to school. He wanted to keep playing with that thing. Yeah. He thought it was the coolest. He's like, look, Mom, I can take the grip off, and it's a pen. I can draw with it too. Stuff like that. Or I let him take my Pro V1s and draw pictures on it. And he draws Bluey on it, and he's all excited. Yes. And I'll call him out. When I was on the trip, he drew an alien on one. And I said, hey, bud, I hit that alien ball into the water, and I need a new one. So,
dude, that's a good idea. I'm going to let my girls do that.
And it's easy to identify your ball because nobody else has weird pictures of aliens on their golf balls.
I know yesterday for the elf, I had a book of Greg Norman putting, and then I had the elf set up with a candy cane and putting.
Oh, that's great.
And they were like, that's awesome.
That's
so
cool.
I think they're starting to sort of appreciate, I don't know, like get into it more.
Yeah, that's great.
So, but as far as, I wouldn't push kids. That would be my best advice. I teach so many kids. I wouldn't push them. I let them come to.
Same as so I have a 20-year-old, 18-year-old, and a 6-year-old. Yeah. It was a big surprise. The 18-year-old's not into golf, but football. It's like, I've got friends of mine that are pushing me. Don't tell him to play college football. Yeah. Division III is not worth it. Yeah. He's got risking injuries. Then I got other people saying, push him hard to get this done, done. I'm like, he needs to make that. He's 18 years old. He's got to make that decision. If he wants to play football at the next level, I'm going to support him. If he wants to be done with football, I'm going to support it. Like,
I will say
there's no point. Like, I see some of these parents that push their kids and it just looks miserable.
Yes. But I would say the majority of the kids that I teach, dude, that's all they want to do. They text me all the time, and they're just like, can't wait to come in and tell me like what they want to work on. But you've got to build up to that. Yeah. You've got to have a little bit of success first.
Sure.
You just force them to hit it, and I think you'll lose them.
Sure.
Anyway.
All right, do I pick a head cover too, or is it just standard?
With the DF3, you only get one head cover.
Okay.
I don't even know. It's the one that's on that one here. Okay. That's pretty much it. They don't offer anything. And it's blue. You're lucky.
Oh,
it's
cool.
Blue. Yeah. It's got a blue. Here, it's this one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool. Great.
So it actually goes with the head of it.
That's my golf bag, too. Nice.
There you go. All right, that's pretty much it.
All right.
It was a pleasure.
Yes, sir, as always.
And then I'll give your podcast a plug.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Not that my 3,000 followers.
Hey, honestly, that's the big thing for me is we're just trying to get to a place where I believe if we have 1,000 loyal listeners, we can start monetizing it and making money. So
there you go. I'm gonna where I go to in the carpool line now. I'm gonna listen to it.
we got some interesting one. Do you know who Mike McGettrick is? He's the head pro at RTJ.
I do not. Sorry.
He coached a lot of LPGA guys back in the day. Mm-hmm. We had him on. He's a great guy. He also did golf course architecture as well.
Nice.
Lou Holtz on, football coach.
Oh,
and then politicians. So we've had a wide range of folks on. And then we just hired Jordan a couple months ago at our firm. He films.
Congratulations.
He films candidates for commercials and things, but also produces our podcast now.
Yeah, I mean, two things that I'm pretty interested in, especially in this last 2024. I was never that interested before, but this time I thought I'm a big Elon Musk guy, so you can probably tell where I lean.
Yeah.
So He's changed the landscape, man. I don't think without Elon this would have happened.
Oh, I don't think so either. I think it was a total game changer. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I mean, you got some of the most successful people in the world in his cabinet. Now, my Democratic co-host would not agree with anything I'm saying, but I think he's going to get some stuff done that's great.
Like Matt was saying, like, you know, the left was planning to die on a hill that no other Americans really, like transgender, like no one really cares enough to.
Right.
So, anyway, I'm not into politics as much as you guys, but it worked out.
Yeah.
It did. I'll probably be like, I'll lose half my client base now. But anyway, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey.